Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and clicking that bell that we're notified every time we upload, especially if you like this type of content. We cover early reactions, we do movie reviews, video essays, trailer reactions, we talk about pop culture and all that. So if you like any of that stuff, movies, TV, anything, please consider doing those three. Helps out the channel a lot. But today we are covering more reactions and reviews coming from the premiere and early screenings from a movie coming up, and this is a big one. It's for Inside Out 2. Now this is highly anticipated. It's coming off the backs of a great first film, and it's kind of in a spot where Pixar isn't what they were when the first film came out. They weren't hitting on every cylinder pretty much every year. Yeah, that has not been the case recently, so I'm excited to cover these. And if you are a big Inside Out fan, you guys tell me in the comments below why. Tell me your favorite emotion, tell me your favorite things about the film, and how excited you are for Inside Out 2. But other than that, guys, let's go ahead and start covering these reactions. The first one we got comes from Daniel Baptista over at the Movie Podcast. They do great interviews and stuff. They cover a lot of movie content. If you guys like that type of stuff, go and support them as well. But Daniel says Inside Out 2 is absolutely delightful and one of the most powerful Pixar films ever made. A beautifully crafted and emotionally mature sequel that stands side by side with the original. Maya Hawke is unforgettable as anxiety and steals the show. A must watch for all ages. Wow. The next one we got also comes from someone over at the Movie Podcast, Sh`ahbaz, great man, saying Inside Out 2 is a masterpiece, a joyful wonder from beginning to end that truly personifies anxiety. Maya Hawke and Amy Poehler are as lovely as ever, with newcomers adding even more brilliance. This touching Pixar classic will have you experiencing all the sweet emotions. That is so great to hear already just off the first two reviews. I mean, it sounds like you know, this stands with the first film and is on that level, which honestly is what all of us could have hoped for. I'm so excited to hear that, but let's cover a lot more. The Hollywood Handle says Inside Out 2 is magical, emotional, and visually stunning. They really managed to reach the high levels of its predecessor. The film has a huge heart and the new characters add the perfect touch to it. Maya Hawke is a massive standout. That's 3 for 3 people talking about Maya Hawke. Seems like she absolutely kills it. But Perry Nemroff here says Inside Out 2 is absolutely brilliant. The first film isn't just my favorite Pixar movie, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. What an utter joy seeing Kelsey Mann and company expand the concept so successfully. It left me even more convinced that there are countless corners and stages of life that are well worth exploring this way. Jazz says Inside Out 2 heralds Pixar back to top form. Everything from animation to story and the introduction of anxiety, envy, and embarrassment make this one of the best sequels in ages. Filled with great laughs, plenty of Easter eggs, and lots of emotion. This is animated perfection. Wow, that's someone literally saying that this is Pixar back in its true form, at its peak, where they can show off the best of their abilities like they did with that first film. And I mean, I couldn't be more happy to hear that. You know, I'm a huge fan of that first Inside Out film, and to be honest, since then we've only got a couple of Pixar hits like Soul, Coco. I like Luca a little bit, but I mean, overall, you know, they have been kind of sloppy and a bit rough with their footing and landing these films as consistently as they used to. But I mean, hearing this just makes me so excited. But let's cover some more for you guys. The next one we have comes from Pop Culture saying, I saw Inside Out 2. It's full of laughs, tears, and cheers. Inside Out 2 is a rare film that truly resonates across all ages. Laugh out loud, funny, and tear-inducingly sweet. Watch it with a loved one because it's an experience that must be shared. Love to hear that. But we got another one coming from Jonathan Sim saying Inside Out 2 is a fresh sequel to the first movie that delves into the chaos of puberty, making new friends, trying to stand out, and the anxiety that comes with it. Anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and ennui are wonderful new additions to a hilarious adventure. Love to hear it, guys. There seems to be a lot of praise going around, which is all I could have hoped for, but we're gonna cover some more. I want to get as much out as possible, just to get kind of a broad spectrum of things. But the next one we have comes from 𝙎𝙬𝙆𝙀 saying Inside Out 2 is a return to form for Pixar, showcasing a new range of cleverness and smart combination. The relationship between the emotions and Riley is a definitive highlight. A strong sequel, to say the least. That's someone else saying it's Pixar returning to form. Wow, man, these sound fantastic. Another one comes from Empire City saying, who wants some great news? I've now seen Inside Out 2 in its entirety, and it is fantastic. It is right up there with the very best Pixar has ever done. People are going to fall in love with this movie. Wow, these are huge expectations. And it just seems like this is a huge knockout of the park. We're going to cover about 5 more here, and then we'll close out the video. But this is sounding amazing. This one comes from Ian Sandwell saying, no need to be anxious about Inside Out 2. The Pixar sequel approaches growing up in the same funny, inventive, and affecting way as the first movie. It doesn't hit quite as hard emotionally, no take her to the moon moment, but it delivers a relatable message in a winning way. That's great to hear. Someone that actually is still positive on it, but kind of dropped in, not certainly their negative, but something that didn't work as well as the first film. So that's good to see. But still, I mean, they still gave it a glowingly positive review. And if that's how negative it's gonna get, I mean, we're in for something truly great. But the next one comes from Brandon saying Inside Out 2 is quite fantastic. It didn't hit the same emotional depth as the first, but much like Riley, it has matured and gotten bigger. The new emotions are fantastic, especially anxiety, great sentiments for kids and parents to feel, all with an engaging pace. Loved it. Wow, that one also saying that the emotions didn't quite hit as hard as the first film, which I gotta say is not a low bar to clear. Obviously, you know, the emotions in that first Inside Out film, it really resonated with people and pulled the heartstrings and got to a lot. So, you know, saying that this doesn't kind of reach those levels isn't any slight, but you know, just something to keep in mind when looking at all these reactions. But the next one we have comes from Carla saying Inside Out 2 is delightfully joyous and hands down the best Pixar flick to date, giving me all the feels, lifting my spirits and mood to the heavens. Maya Hawke totally steals the show as anxiety with a performance that is undeniably fantabulous. Wow, that's someone saying this is their favorite Pixar flick, which, I mean, that is, I don't know if you can give higher praise. I mean, you've got films like The Incredibles, WALL-E, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., like truly legendary films. So to say that, I mean, you know, you can't just throw something like that out. We're going to cover 2 more, though, and close out. This one comes from the Montyverse saying, I was completely blown away by Inside Out 2. Gorgeous visuals and sharp dialogue make it feel like an evolution of what came before, which is no small feat. The cast was firing on all cylinders, with Maya Hawke and Ayo Edebiri being huge standouts. This movie is a big win. And we're covering the last one coming from Landon Johnson saying Pixar knocks it out of the park with Inside Out 2, introducing remarkable new characters like the relatable and multidimensional anxiety alongside disgust and embarrassment. This unforgettable cinematic experience not only entertains but also elevates our self-awareness and deepens our understanding of each other. A must-watch for everyone. Wow, that is high praise all around, and every single review, which was everyone that I could find, by the way, all of them were overwhelmingly positive. This looks like a knock out of the park for Pixar, and hopefully it really is them getting back to true form, because I mean, some of the best Pixar movies are genuinely some of the best movies, period, in cinematic history. They knew how to grip you, how to capture the emotions and tell such rich stories, and to hear that they are potentially back in that form is just, I mean, it just makes me beyond excited for this. But you guys tell me in the comments below how excited you are for Inside Out 2. Obviously, once I get a chance to watch the film, you will hear our thoughts on the channel. But yeah, leave a comment below. I love discussing with you guys on your excitement for Inside Out 2, your thoughts on the first film. Maybe you really love it and hold it to that high standard, or maybe it just wasn't for you and you don't like it as much as other Pixar films. I love discussing with you guys either way down there. And if you made it this far and you haven't, please consider liking this video, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell. That way you're notified every time we upload, so you can, you know, get more content like this on your radar. Helps us get out in the algorithm and just helps us grow. It's free and it just helps out the channel a ton. But other than that, guys, it's been your boy 𝙎𝙬𝙚. I love you all, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.